Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Torchlight 2. Kind of a bad place to end your recording. It was right next to a waypoint portal, which I guess the waypoint portal that I opened is just going to be open there forever. Which I don't know if I will really use it. In kind of an interesting spot in that right now I have at least one item not equipped that I totally should have equipped. Trying to go back and forth. These basilisks are very large. I need to go back to where I was. Over here. But yeah, I'm waiting to level up. Did I not get my robot? Apparently not. I'll be able to equip something, I believe. Although maybe not. We may find once we actually go and look at the inventory that that's not the case. I know there was 3 things that couldn't be equipped, and then I was able to equip one thing that increased, I think, my vitality enough that I could then equip 2 other things. It's kind of weird how up and down this whole levels design is. It does make a situation where even if it looks like on the map you visited an area, there is a small possibility you didn't actually visit that area. We're trying to get up. My characters here making noise and jumping from ledges, so even the game itself knows you can't get at those scarabs. I think I may have seen a little bit of screen tearing happening there. But yeah, it's an old enough game that I would assume performance isn't going to be 100% on this. Okay. So there's a whole another area. Last time we went to an area, it was kind of disappointing. I didn't feel like there was anything there. Then we've also been to several other places. And I think for just time efficiency, it probably does just make sense to go to these locations. Now what I really would like is to have it automatically summon the robot as soon as I enter a new floor or a new area, or just transfer the robot over. It might be a case that actually these areas are kind of storyless and they are just opportunities to take on more enemies. If that is the case, okay. It's just another, I guess, the game is going to allow for a little bit of variety. We have another heavily armored guy.
You have become more skilled.
But I don't really feel like I'm doing terrible. So let's take a moment. Still trying to get like one of each passive ability. Let's see. Yeah, we'll do that. And then yeah, this chest armor. We need our vitality at 49 to get that. So if I throw everything into that, I still can't wear it. We have a gem that we can't put anything on. And here's a armor shield. So we wouldn't do anything with that. Yeah. So I am not wearing one of the armored items, and it's not really even mattering too much. Probably would play a role later on, but at the moment, as long as I don't run into a major boss level character. It's not gonna hurt me hard enough. Yeah, it really is just more of a case of, do I have enough presence of mind to hit a minimal health potion on rare occasions. Even a small branching then recombining path like that can be a little annoying, but on the scale of annoying things in this game, I think that's probably one that's easily forgiven compared to all the other procedurally generated nonsense as far as the level design goes.
I set off the trap.
So they considered setting off a moonstone shrine as setting off a trap. Instead of including intentional. So this is going to take me down to a Manticore character, which I would assume with a named character like that there was going to be a quest to defeat the Manticore. What would be annoying is if it turned out that by defeating the Manticore early you can't get the rewards for taking on the subquest. Sword Sting. But weirdly would also kind of fall in line with some weirdness around how quests are given, and that you can accept them or not accept them, which really is a false choice. It would be very silly. It would be very, very silly to not take a quest. So we just trade blows for blows. He's not hurting me. I'm slowly hurting him. Oh, we gotta take that one towards me.
Can't carry it anymore.
Full of items now. Again, he's not really hurting me.
My pack is full.
You have gained fame.
My pack is full.
Okay. So we need to start thinking about extra damage. And we can do that by increasing attack speed. I think first, let's start thinking about what we're going to get rid of and what we're not going to keep. 96 seconds does a little bit more damage. It's not quite there, but it is hinting at a potential future that we will just hit some kind of level up that is going to make it extremely difficult to say no to. Of course, a lot of these others are still not much different. So unless you were going to give me some unique items or something that's enchanted in an interesting way, well, these are easy to say no to. That's a two-handed weapon. Okay. So you can need the rest of these are. This is Combalist. Very slow weapon, does a lot of damage, and the first time we've seen a wrench in a long time. But we didn't level up, so we don't have enough to get the vitality high enough. Yeah. Without getting vitality high enough, we would have to wait several more levels, way too many levels, to put on this chart. And I am noticing that this probably is something new for Torchlight 2, is that you have... I would assume that all of this bowl is just all the spawned enemies that the boss would have spawned during the boss battle. Which does mean I am just going to have to walk around the entire map, because there seems to be quite a lot of that. So maybe that is an opportunity to get a significant amount of gold. Also, in boss fights, is to focus heavily on the boss and not fight anybody else. Although, perhaps you're getting less XP in that case, and XP might be worth a lot more than gold drops. It certainly doesn't explain why there's still a few things alive. Unless the vast majority of things are spawned for the boss, and then there's just a few other non-spawned characters. I think we've probably got enough here to start sending him back. Keeping a ring like this might make some sense. I don't know though. The numbers are much higher. This is 19, where this adds together to 44 and gives you a socket, and then plus 50 ice armor. Where this does 7% ice damage, 2% poison damage, and 3% mana. Guess I don't have to make too big of a deal around it. I don't think I have any identify scrolls, so getting like 5 for 1,000 isn't a terrible thought.
Your pet has departed.
And the distance is not terrible either, as far as like the time that the dog is gone isn't getting longer and longer. 2 minutes is very believable and practical. Well, reasonable time, in my opinion. I feel like in Torchlight 1, the number just went up higher and higher. Now, inherently in Torchlight 1, the vast majority of the game, pretty much the entirety of the game, was played going deeper and deeper in one giant tomb. So, it's possible at some point we will get to a point where we are just going into a deeper and deeper tomb in some kind of final third act of Torchlight. Interesting, music just completely quiet, no fade out or anything. I half suspect that is the music actually crashing. We shall see. Interesting, I was not really expecting to just run into somebody. Let's talk to this guy. Go to the north and retrieve
Your pet has returned.
the focus. So I'm ignoring instructions. I have no idea what I just put into this mysterious socket. I just put a like very valuable gem potentially into that socket. It does seem awkwardly quiet now with the music not playing. And that wasn't worth it. Yeah, I just can't imagine that the game intentionally is not playing audio. Music, background music here. But the problem with if something like that was intentionally happening is you'll start to realize kind of how generic and minimal the audio is in a game. That's always going to be the case. Yeah. There just aren't going to be that many sound effects. A waypoint portal, sarcophagus, and a dead adventurer. Interesting. So we're slowly working away. Working our way up north. I guess the fishes have different rarities too. Just characters right next to each other. I can't help but feel like the named characters, if they are closer to each other, are likely to also be weaker. Let's see if maybe we saved. Maybe that would get the audio to kick back in. No, I imagine we'll have to wait until we load into a new area. If this was intentional, this is too long to just have kind of some awkward silence. Anyways, you can have a little bit of that, almost like a falling action in audio form. But really, you should only go a couple minutes before you're back into keeping the mood, setting the theme and the mood with the audio. Well, those guys aren't going to jump up there. I don't think they have the ability to jump up. Which that would be the next evolution. Certainly, if you were going to do something where enemies could jump down, is to have them have the ability to jump up, perhaps at a fairly slow pace, so it doesn't get too crazy, but still capable of reaching the player. Yeah, and these dunes being barriers definitely feel weird, because a lot of them you can change those, but then at just a certain angle it becomes too high. Again, I would really like to see the can't go any higher here. So I think we're going to just start putting points into this. Yeah, just making this stronger to the max. Yeah, I wish we got a full menu. Like this quest Tower of the Moon. Yeah, we apparently missed that somewhere. I don't think I can zoom out far enough. We're in the Lascan Wastes. Tower of the Moon, somehow totally missed. And this is the main story.
Has come and gone. Through this gate she journeyed on. Follow her and pay the cost. Hasten forth, or she'll be lost. My ancient charge to guard the gate, the desert sands to contemplate. In Stygian realm lurks beast of yore, part drake, part lion, manticore. Lay its skin before my eyes, and passage through shall be your prize.
So we've killed the manticore already. We didn't take his skin though.
You have received a quest.
And so it seems like I can just talk to him.
Power proved, the way is clear. The forge, the queen, the end is near. The Ezreal have mana enslaved, but there's still hope. She might yet be saved. The enemy lie in this foul crash. Save the guardian, save Zarafesh.
You have received a quest.
Okay. So we're kind of back on track now, knowing what we did, but now is kind of a great time to clean out our inventory, I think, and send the dog that way. We're not full of items. These weapon eyes seem to do something quite special. Now, arguably, instead of sending the dog, I should go back through the waypoint myself but I think this will work. -9 to all armor per hit. Still feels like a very nice thing for the dog to have. Just reducing armor on enemies.
Your pet has departed.
Meanwhile, still haven't leveled up enough to put on the equipment. There I just got a full charge due to that passive ability I have. So we're running to and see, here's the real problem. It's like I see a rift like this, I'm not sure I've been in this place or not. So there's just no getting around it. Every time I see a dungeon going forward, whether you have a storyline reason to do it or not, you absolutely have to go into that area. And maybe on the second playthrough, that would not be the case. And you could have more of an accelerated experience on the second playthrough. But I don't know if there's even a reason why you would do it then on a second playthrough, assuming you even can do a second playthrough. I suppose it is true that most modern Diablo games really aren't thinking on the term of a new game plus with the same character, or with anything carrying over. They're just thinking that you would start over at level 1 in a second playthrough. Trying to see if this is a dead end or not. The only real reason I guess you'd have an accelerated playthrough and skip dungeons on the second playthrough is if you're already at a maximum level and you are just trying to get some kind of speedrun grinding done, getting like boss drops. Which I've never seen a game like this have a boss rush mode, but there is something that kind of makes some sense to that idea. Instead of a new game plus, just unlock a boss rush mode where you're given maybe no dungeons at all, and it just no overworld at all. You just fight each boss in a way, declining for items. Probably wouldn't be that interesting if you did made a mode like that, though. I think you probably would lean more. You'd be better off leaning more into that traditional concept of procedurally generated land. I kind of feel like I have been through this dungeon before. So I suppose if that's the case, and it isn't just that this is procedurally repeating itself, then we're in a very different situation now because the dungeon refilled itself with enemies, and that does mean I can go through this dungeons potentially more than once. Not that I would do that a lot, but getting a little bit ahead of the curve wouldn't be terrible. Seems like every time we defeat something around here, it's lighting up these mana pools. You know? I wouldn't hate the idea. I don't think I can get that killed. If these kinds of dungeons just collapsed, like the caves caved in once you had been through them.
You have gained an experience.
Yeah, this totally is an area we've already been through before. Although this might be a uniquely different situation in this case, because we might be able to supercharge another bit of indoor. Or it might not be that unique, and it might be the case that you could always have gone into areas a second time. Yeah, I can't summon the thing again, or supercharge the Ember again. But assuming I didn't lose my guy in here, I'm kind of in a good position. Let's see. X needs to be at 49. That means this can now be equipped. Apparently I auto-equipped an item before. If we go down below 49, the item will be unequipped. Okay. And left hand is still doing kind of a massive amount of damage. Alright. Okay. This would be level 29 right now. I don't think I'm anywhere close to level 29. We're at 27. So, well, I might keep that. Put it over. Oh, that was not what I meant to do. So now we have to keep that item. get rid of everything else so we know we're not dealing with any of those. $21.11 versus $20.22 plus ice armor. That ring is kind of special. Okay. So, you can do max 3 enchantments. So this possibly could get enchanted a couple more times.
Fortune favors you.
Still have not actually done anything.
Fortune favors you.
Yeah, and we're out of money. Enchantments are just getting more and more expensive. So I don't imagine we're going to hit a point where you're getting more than 5 or 6 enchantments on any one thing, because I imagine it would be way too expensive. So that wasn't a complete waste of time. We also have an unspent skill point, which the loading screen is, I guess, conveniently telling me. What would happen here if we ranked it up? Heal faster, that is something to potentially start to think about. Next rank would do 10% to fire damage, electric damage. This would also just add physical armor. What did I just step on? Again, pathfinding really stinks. So the Tower of the Moon here was just an area I guess I couldn't go into before. Seems to be the case. Looks like this might very well be just a boss fight. This guy's doing quite a lot of area of effect stuff, making it difficult. Making it just difficult to even get to him. But my armor is so high now.
Your task.
You've gotten some kind of prison key. All around. get as much experience as possible. Clearly the desire here is to increase my attack. And maybe just be better about not leaving potentially valuable items on the ground. It is weird that there isn't a pointer on the map to say, hey, you dropped something, here's something that's actually collectible. Risk and reward. Finally saved, thank you. You look like the person who likes risks. I'm heading back to town, meet me there and see if your luck holds out. So I imagine he's some kind of gambler type character. Is there a way to get to this chest? So here's procedural generation, I think, at its worst. In that there's no way for me to reach this chest. Not unless, perhaps, you would have to come back in this area a second time and fight everybody again. So let's see if that happens. Let's just see what happens if you completely return to an area. I'd assume everything is still dead. From the looks of it, it doesn't seem like there's any kind of secrets. Nope. Yeah. I think that's just bad procedural generation. But weirdly, there are these gongs. Interesting, the gongs did open the area. Robotic arm parts found. Search for more pieces of the robot. Well, I doubt the more pieces of the robot are here in this small area. So, unfairly there, I blame procedural generation when clearly that was more of a bespoke artist hand that was involved in the development of that. If we look at the quest though, as far as robotic parts, that's 4,000 carved into it. Wonder how many more pieces there could be. Arm. I imagine not 4,000 pieces. That would be a ridiculously large amount. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's 2 arms, 2 legs, a chest, and
Greetings, human.
some dialogue here, and then some rewards. Slow weapon for 177. Slow, or stronger weapon, but not with all the modifications. For 84. At some point I am going to have to decide to take something different. guess the world just becomes very empty. Once you've already cleared the overworld. So if these overworlds ever regenerate, it is probably a slower process. Still wish we had a full map though. Okay. We will go to Zephyrish. We may have to go back to some other places too.
Be welcome.
So here's our gambler guy. See if we can get... Yeah, he's the shady fellow character type.
First one's free. No.
Okay. So... the price to sell all these seem to be very low. Meanwhile, these are random gambles on weapons. Or random gambles on rings or necklaces, all of which seem to be very expensive. And yeah, I don't think I would want to sell anything to him. This is an odd kind of
Greetings, human.
character, just kind of leaning. I guess it was about the same price either way. So we'll sell what we already had decided we were going to sell. And we'll look at the rest of them. Probably sell all of that too. 131. I just don't think I would add sockets to anything I have at the moment. Like, I think you're gonna do that at the end game and only at the end game. Kinda lost. Gem Smasher. Gem Saber. Okay. 1, 2, 3 of those.
Fortune smiles upon you.
Weapon increases attack speed. It's a shame that we just don't have the chest. Yeah. This could do 2 enchantments. So do we have anything that doesn't have 2 enchantments that we'd like to make sure we keep? This has 2. This is not part of a set. This is not part of a set. This is not part of a set. That has 2.
Fortune favors you.
Plus 4 mana. That's not much of anything.
You are fortunate.
Plus 4 to physical armor. It's not a really good system we've got going on here. We can take one of those back with us. Chaos Ember Chip versus Chaos Ember Spec and Chaos Ember Spec. We have a unique socketable, which we probably should hold on to. And then we have a level 19 Kabbalist. This is level 15, this is level 15, this is level 23. But this requires a class of Ember Mage. So, this one I should just put in the other chest. I'm never going to be able to use that. And then Ezra is level 30. This is Zephyr. Then we have like a full set here. That's a full set I'd never actually use. And I suspect there aren't any more Grundig's items to use. So we're just going to take that full set of Grundig out. 5% for Chaotic Rift on strike. Yeah, I just don't want to destroy a unique item or a weapon. So I kind of can't ever use it. Not until I get some kind of unique weapon that is better than what I have and just am potentially retiring, like this weapon. Or just overly decorating in general. Keep this for one level, potentially. This is like way more for the Chaotic Rift ability. Way more interesting than just getting extra mana. Alright, so set this here, and this here. And we do this. This is a set item of unique gloves. Then we have a level 7 unique and level 6 unique. And yeah, there's nothing else. Now, arguably, maybe the unique items aren't that unique as far as the socketable unique items. Maybe you are just better off destroying even a unique item in one of these.
Fortune smiles.
Who knows, it also might be a case where you never get the same thing twice in a playthrough. Faster movement speed is an interesting thought, because that would certainly help. Although, with the pathfinding not being great, being able to move faster when you're just going to end up hitting a wall and then having to click again would not be that helpful. We might as well just end. Well, that was not the portal I was meaning to come out of. That whatever, we'll make a short journey. Might as well start the next level past the loads, the next episode past the loads. Okay. Let's look at the quest. We have a robot parts quest, and we have Artifact of Evil as a quest. And it looks like we've got a whole new style of enemies we're fighting now, more robotic, Grimmer-like. In comparison to Skyrim, or the Elder Scrolls universe in general. Traps on the floor. This guy looks like he's got a whole safety bubble. Not expecting a walking gun, even if this is a world with guns in it. Alright, well, that does enough for now. Stats wise, we are probably leveling off and are just not going to really see major increases in stats. Sure, with every level we might push up our damage. Yeah. And I probably do need to do something with this. Like, this is at 133 per second, 38 per second, and it is being forced up to 155 instead of this, which is 138 or 165 per second, which is somehow being doubled. Yeah, feels like it's being more than doubled to a 185 to 334. Not sure why that is the case. Maybe the percentages are changing it as far as, yeah. If we were to just dequip, then, oh wow. Apparently this is the right hand. Why is the right hand on the left and the left hand on the right? Makes no sense at all. But yeah, something is affecting the right hand way more than the left hand. 138. I am very confused about that. That makes very little sense to me. But again, playing on easy at least, it doesn't seem like it really matters. We're just going to keep on putting, every time we level up, something into our weapon passive abilities. And physical armor, physical damage being reduced is helpful, but probably not that helpful. Doing more elemental damage might be more helpful too. It seems like if you put points into this though, you wouldn't get much of a return. I have no idea what this Aegis is. It's supposed to be a bubble that surrounds you to prevent further damage. But apparently I haven't seen it enough for it to be even that important. This is where a New Game Plus might come in, is that you might just want to continue to increase your fame to get more skill points to unlock new skill abilities to play with. Notably, I haven't added a single thing to this number bar at the bottom here. Also, we've only found one pet spell, which is weird. We have not... Well, where did we get all these spells? Okay, well... Summon skeletons 2. What level is he at? 27? 16, 16, 16. Well... This is dumb. Let's see. Learn armor expertise. Training that reduces armor requirements, improves armor absorption. Only one rank of armor expertise may be equipped at a time. So we could do that. And that gave me an achievement for doing the spell. And then rush. These all feel like these are passive spells. Skeletal warrior or imps. Caster draws life from any foe struck during the duration of the spell. Suicidal zombies. Passive spell that improves damage of all weapons when dual wielding. We'll definitely want that one. And I only have one more spell. So. Can he learn these spells? Or can the dog not learn anything more than one? I guess we'd go with I hate to lose something, but I guess we go with the skeleton. Remove spell. Permanently remove. Right click to learn. Oh, he can learn it. You just have to right click it from his inventory. So I'm just gonna let him summon a bunch of characters. And now I've got an achievement for teaching a pet 4 spells. Improves mana recharge rate at all times. Only one rank of concentration can be equipped at a time. So that was an achievement for getting all 4 spells for me. Always enabled, always enabled, always enabled, and always enabled. Just passive abilities. Life draining touch versus this. Extra armor for a minute. I think we'll stick with that. Extra armor for a minute. You can also see that We are at a maximum of big health potions. Enough that we should probably start converting them into other things, and you can only have a stack of 12 of the identify scrolls, so I have too many identify scrolls. You can only have a stack of what seems like 5 of the fish. What would hurt? Would it really hurt if I just gave that to the dog and let him eat it whenever he felt like it? We'll see what happens there. So, yeah, kind of crazy that there's a whole system there as far as the spells that is just such a passive thing that I haven't even had to pay any attention to it at all and have overlooked it this whole time, because clearly it's been at least a couple hours since I got all of those items, all those spells. So yeah, now all of a sudden if I have all those passive spells, maybe I will feel like I'm even more overpowered than I feel right now. The main thing I'm still feeling is a little weak on my characters. He's just not doing one-hit kills on enemies, and whenever he runs into anything named, it is still feeling like it's closer to 35 to 40 seconds to defeat an enemy when it should be closer to 25 to 30. And then the boss fights go on forever, but I don't think that's ever going to change. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and keep on watching. Thanks.